This episode is sponsored in part by PTZ Optics. Why hire a camera operator when the control is in your hands? Visit ptzoptics.com for more information. And by NewTek, makers of the TriCaster TC1. Stun your viewers, not your accountant. Visit newtek.com for more information.
We have a rowdy bunch here tonight. It's been 3 weeks for some of these folks, 2 weeks for some others, and we've got a good show for you guys here tonight. So I just want to preface this before I get the panel here. If you came to hear us fanboy over a bunch of cabinets, you're not going to get that. So you might as well leave right now. I'll wait. Okay. Now that we've got the hardcore crowd here, we've got a really fun filled show here for you today, and all the way from his Shilling man cave here that he's got.
Smile. He's trying not to look at that.
Look at this. I sit here and say we're not going to fanboy, and look at this. He comes back. What is this? I mean,
that is an independent man right there.
This is ridiculous.
Well, we there's one thing doesn't belong with the other. We have decent machines over here, or actually over here, and then we have the other stuff here.
Oh, Paul just said he's out because of that.
What's missing on my asteroids? You know what's missing on my asteroids? I need a lever.
Hemorrhoids?
Every arcade machine needs a lever on it to make
it
spin.
We're not even gonna do that. We got with us also. We got Wild Bill, and he is in his lair. How's the MVSX treating you?
Wait a second. Why was it a Shilling guy and he's in his lair? He's got a machine behind just like I do.
Yeah, but he has the Marvel vs. Capcom too.
Mm-hmm. I heard that he said it was really good quality and that there was no issues with it, that everybody should go out and buy one.
Is that what I said? I don't think that's what I said. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure that's not what I said.
It's like every time I make content with Marvel vs. Capcom 2, I have to have like a disclaimer at the bottom. This is a piece of product, but I'm making this video because I'm a fan.
Don't tell me that. Mine still hasn't gotten here yet. And you're the one that talked me into getting this.
Steven? Was that a pre-order?
That was a pre-order.
That's everyone else in the world has,
my
but
first
you pre-ordered.
And last. Huh. Yeah. Look at Michael B. A month after I pre-ordered, he gets it, and he got it. He ordered it like a day or two after saying he wasn't going to get it.
Blame Canada.
Somebody's got the end somewhere. That's all I got to say. But
that's where it's gotten in the community. You can't like anything without disclaiming like what your justification.
No, he bought it. He definitely bought it. I'm just pissed because I bought it from the company that made it. He bought it from whatever Canadian store that he's there. Yeah. Oh, but now for the fact here is Jayde told me to pre-order. I wasn't going to pre-order, but she made me pre-order it.
Oh, she told all of us to pre-order.
I know. She
yelled at us when we didn't.
That's right.
But actually, what I said was, if you want one, you should.
No, that's not what you. Jay, 2 o'clock in the morning, you were sending me a message like, hurry up, get on there and pre-order. It's up there. Get it.
This
get it quick.
The guy who's like, I had it in my shopping cart 50 times. What do I do, Jay?
I don't know what you're talking about. I can neither confirm or deny. We know this guy didn't pre-order it because he's sitting over there with a bunch of machines that probably doesn't even play anymore.
Yeah, what's he doing? Playing a GRS?
He's probably playing on his phone is what he's doing, or he's playing his Build-A-Cade. Before we get into this,
hey Paul, I appreciate that, Paul, by the way.
She resembles that remark. Listen, before we get going here, something can we talk about this, Glenn? Something massive happened with your product this week, actually. Are we allowed to talk about that?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so take it away. What the massive announcement that you had that you were approved of this week?
So the GRS Build-A-Cade was officially approved for the STEM program, which is an educational program with the school systems, college systems, and actually around the world. There'll be a catalog in school systems where they can purchase the GRS Build-A-Cade and teach engineering, teach programming on this machine, and that's a huge deal. I mean, this is our first like real complete product kit
Mhm.
that the school system will be able to do actually, lectures on, or teaching students better than I can talk on, like I said, engineering, computer programming, game programming. We're talking from middle school all the way up into college level, and we're talking USA, we're talking Canada, we're talking Europe, we're talking China, Japan, everywhere. It'll be officially in their catalog. It'll have a nice little star next to it. So we're pretty proud about that, actually.
You should be. So now all the future engineers of the world will be testing your Build-A-Cade out and building the next big video game, right?
Or small.
Or small. Or 3/4 scale.
Oh, sorry. Can I say something real quick, Stephen?
You're full screen.
Okay, guys, I just want to say happy birthday to all the Marines out there,
Hoorah!
because today is the Marine Corps birthday. And in honor of that, during the show, I will have my drill instructor sweater behind me. But happy birthday, Marine Corps. Happy birthday, Marines.
And happy Veterans Day to all the veterans tomorrow.
Yep,
and thank you for your
absolutely.
service, especially, Jayde being on the panel here. We appreciate your service to our country, and anybody else that's in the chat room. We also want to say thank you as well. So so this is pretty cool. We've got a if you saw my cryptic thumbnail, we're going to get to that a little bit later on. We want to get through some of the news. There is some news, believe it or not, and we've got our favorite segments that we have. So let's take a look at AtGames.
AtGames news and notes.
Yeah, so let's check out some of the stuff from AtGames. We don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but Bill, they got a winter sale going on here.
I see that.
So what did you order? Because you were pretty adamant. You're like, hey, let's talk about AtGames and their winter sale. What? I got the email. So what did you buy? Come on.
Absolutely nothing. No, look, there's some decent prices here. I got to be honest with you. What always kills it for me with them is the shipping on this. I mean,
Yes.
you're basically
Yes.
saving the shipping cost on every single one of these machines, because the shipping's $100 on pretty much all of them. So
150.
I guess it depends on the machine or where you are. Yeah.
Well, with sales tax in.
Yeah, I guess. But look, I've been wanting to get. At some point, I know I'm going to pull the trigger and get the full size pinball machine. I can't do it now. It's probably going to be next year sometime. But I don't, even at this price, it's a decent price. But like I said, it's basically, as soon as you add shipping back in, it's right up to where it was to its regular price anyway. So I mean, as far as the that stuff, look, if you already own one and you want to pick up some of the game packs that are on sale, that's great.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that at all. Good deal on those. It's the machines itself that I really wish they'd do something a little better on.
So Hollywood Polo, he had asked in the chat room, he said, hey, Steven, does the Legend Core Plus, is that going on sale, or the Core Max? So we could see here the Legend Core Plus is, where do they come up with these percentages too? That's the other thing I'd like to know, like 14.3% off, $89.99. I'm looking.
Yeah, but that's not the Core Max, is
No,
it?
that's, I have the Core Max here. I haven't even taken it out of the box yet.
I think they do it based off the price drop. They like drop the price to whatever number is fitting, and then they're like, that's approximately blah blah blah.
I don't see the Core Max here. I just see that, and this is going to go on sale.
Wasn't it down there? Wait, scroll down.
I'll scroll down, but this starts today, November 10th at 9 a.m. Pacific time through November 14th at 11:59 p.m. Pacific time. And if you use the discount code NODW2022, you'll receive an additional $20 off the sale price, and it can be applied to any number of the 6 items below, but only 2 or less of the same item per household. So they're limited on what you can buy. Now, this is the Core. This is the original Core. I think Glenn and I both had that back, and it came with the Gamer Pro and whatnot.
Okay.
Yeah, but you can get
that's all.
So the Core Max is not. Yeah.
But the games here, as Bill
like
was
the
saying,
Slim Jim
that-
of the
yeah.
format.
that's what I would do. I would get the games. I mean, some of these game packs are expensive, and if you can get them, they're about 20% off. I think that's where the deal lies, folks. I think that's where you're going to get the most bang for your buck is on the game packs, because everything else, I mean, now the quad. If you're into the quad play, I don't know if you guys noticed that, but the quad play is $199. It's normally $299, so that's kind of a deal there. If you want a 4-player, I still don't even have room for the arcade 1-up 4 plays.
Glenn, what do you think about these prices?
Well, they always do. When they come to these, they always give really good discounts on them. AtGames has always been very good with these sales that they do. So, kudos to them. Personally, I feel that person control panel is insane. It's like something you want to take out a group and a crowd by just running down the street with it and taking them out. But the big pixel display is beautiful. So
yeah.
Again, it really is. You can see I have the older version behind me there. So AtGames does think about their community, and they try and give back once in a while. And the game packs, the sales are usually very good. So I don't have anything bad to say about it, but not something that I'm going to purchase right now.
Biggie D, AtGames charging for shipping. I know, right? Like nobody else. AtGames, $150.
Well, a lot of the companies do. They're charging for shipping. Shipping's not cheap. To be fair, I mean, everything's gone up in price. Everything.
Unless you're contracted with the shipping companies, then it doesn't cost you or your
True.
customers a thing.
True. I mean, a lot of the stuff is coming over from China, so the prices are through the roof. So I can understand that. Honestly, I still think I've been in the groups. I still say if you can go to your local Sam's Club or some places you can drive like an hour. I've seen guys post the Legends pinball, the full size, for $249 that they found at their local Sam's, as well as the Legends Ultimate. They've been finding anywhere from like $329 all the way up to $379, so somewhere in that vicinity. I was at my local Sam's.
Notice none of those people live in New York, by the way.
No, I was at my local Sam's, which is in Ohio here, and the price was $499 for the Legends Ultimate, which is still cheaper than what it originally was, Glenn. I think we paid $599 for it originally. That was the original cost. So
that's correct.
And there's no shipping. So I get it, they're running a deal, and some of you guys may not have anything nearby. I get it. I know, Jade, you really want the Legends Ultimate, so maybe check it out.
I mean, I want the Legends Ultimate for a low price would be probably more accurate.
Well, yeah, I get that. You don't want to pay $600 plus shipping. I totally get that. I'm just
like
saying.
$449 would almost be a good price if then I didn't know that I had to pay another $150 in shipping.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it just completely like negates the entire thing for me. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I would pay like $400 for one.
I want to kind of dovetail off of what Glenn said though too. I mean, with the economy the way it is and everything that's going on, AtGames doesn't have to give a sale on any of this stuff. I mean, times are tough for a lot of companies. A lot of companies are doing layoffs. So, I mean, you got to give them kudos, whether we like the sales or don't like the sales, regardless. I would agree with Glenn. They deserve some kudos on this, and we're going to get to iArcade a little bit later on. They've got some sales and stuff going on as well. So, Glenn, you're actually, because this kind of goes along with this before we get to our make or break today, you actually have a sale going, what is it, 40% off?
40% off, right. So on T-Stick's website, right now we're giving 40% off on almost everything. Obviously, the new Build-A-Cade is not on that, but like the Star Wars GRS flight yoke, that was going for $199. You can get that for $119 right now, and that's the best yoke on the market. No yokes intended. But yeah, 40% off. You just at the time of checkout, just put in holiday 40, and you get 40% off.
Let me see if I can pull that up.
We get some really huge savings right now.
And you get an extra 20%.
There we go. 20%. You're going to get 40% off.
Hey,
so
Glenn.
Push, pull, spinner. Yes.
Does that steering wheel fit on like would it fit on my Rush cabinet?
You know what? I don't know. I don't know.
Because I'm looking for a new steering wheel, and I saw that, and I was like, that is such a sweet steering wheel. Like if I just got like the wheel, or if there was a way just to get the steering wheel, like I
I'm
was
sure we
wondering
could
if it
3D
fit.
print an interface for it.
Yeah, like a
but
hub.
something like that. Yeah.
Oh my God, that would be so, because that's such a pretty steering wheel.
Aw, it's a pretty steering wheel, people. That's Jayde just as pretty. Go buy it. 40% off. But the sales going
Best
on to the end of the
endorsement
month.
ever.
No, I
And
wanted one for my
unfortunately, you got to
Ridge
pay for
Racer.
shipping. Shipping's still there. So
I wanted one for my Ridge Racer, but then I got the Rush, and so I mean, well, I totally put it on both, but I really want a new one for my Rush because my Rush one looks like something out of like a '67 Camaro that was like in a junkyard.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Well, when it comes out of the junkyard, you have to restore it, Bill.
Hey, Papa Brad in the chat room. Hey guys. That's not bad. 40%.
You know what? It's hard to justify saying I'm going to pay $600 or $700 for an AtGames or whatever, like when you could pick up an actual
okay.
arcade machine for
I'm going to stop you right there
$400.
because you get deals on arcades the way I get deals on consoles. So I don't even want to hear it.
Okay, you know what? Ralph
Bill
said
get
something
nothing.
to me.
Yeah, I was just going to say you get deals on arcades like I get deals on nothing.
Ralph said something to me a while ago. I think Scarlet Sprites did too, or it was one or the other. But and they were like, the longer you look, like the more you'll start finding things, and that's kind of just what is slowly happening. It's probably also the time of year too. But I mean, as long as you're looking, like stuff is just going to keep kind of like slowly popping up. So it's getting harder and harder for me to justify like those prices and everything when I'm thinking about like what I'm getting versus like
some of us don't have room for big arcades.
But at the same at that same token, I totally get that aspect of it too. I don't like now I feel like I have to defend my statement.
Yes, you do.
You guys know I'm an
real arcade
I'm an arcade
shill.
one-up owner, and I have like all this crap. Okay, so I'm not.
Oh! Now it's crap. A month ago it was Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is coming out.
All of it.
I can't wait.
All this crap.
Oh,
it's all
okay.
crap. Yeah.
Okay.
All of it. Take that. But no. So I just mean like it's hard for me to like justify it with something like that, where if I could get a Dynamo HS5, for example, and then just like put it in there, or put like a Mr. or Pandora's box in there or something, which it would probably not be a Pandora's box. But anyways, I don't know.
Prince Malcolm's
just my thing.
He's 100% right. Divorces are going up, and so are arcade sales on Facebook Marketplace and OfferUp.
Dude, I saw this hilarious video a guy did about how he got divorced because he built a home arcade in
That's just
his
stupid.
bedroom. And oh my God, I was rolling. It was a real news segment. Like I was dying. I couldn't even believe it. And then his buddies come over, and like they show his buddies coming over the house, and they're like potheads, and they're like, oh, "What's up, bro?" I'm like, "Man, you are hardcore, dude."
Paul says, "Stand your ground, Marine." so somebody actually in the chat room, and this is something that I brought up too for a while, and how reliable is the real arcade? I mean, I'll let Jayde answer this, but I also, just from my research and going and seeing some, I think it really depends on who owned it and how well they took care of it. Because I know Jayde's found some, she's found some like bangers. I hate to use that word now, but I mean, you found ones that were really well taken care of, at least on the inside.
No, not at all. My Donkey Kong. Okay, this is a great question. I'd love to answer. My Donkey Kong came out of a house fire. It was literally on fire, and it
wait. How many weeks of work did you have to put in your Donkey Kong, and how much money did you have to put in?
2 days. He did it like 2 days.
Yeah, about 4 days. About 4 days.
Nonstop.
My
uphill both ways.
My MVS4 slot, that was, I got that for $400, and
With
it just
3
needed
inches of
cosmetic
dust.
work. Yeah, lots of dust, but everything worked. And I mean, those things, they're old. They are old. So even if the monitors went out in them, or the boards went out, like in my mind, I'd figure out something else. I'd just put something else in there. I'd figure something else out. It wouldn't be that expensive. The more you do it, the more you work with all of these types of machines, not just regular arcades, the more you figure out how to problem solve and be budget friendly with everything you're doing.
So definitely not Zohar, I swear, said, Jayde, would you know how to fix a real arcade if it breaks down? That part scares me.
It depends on what the problem is. I mean, like if it's something that has to do with circuitry, I would just like have somebody else do it. I'm not gonna try and like figure that out. Like there are some people that'll do that, but I'm not gonna do that because I just don't want to. I don't want to get into that nitty gritty side of it. But at the same time, if something breaks down, parts become more scarce. Like there is always, and of course
She'll buy
purists
another
don't like
one
this,
up.
but there's always the option of emulation.
She'll
I
buy
mean, you
another
can
one
just,
up.
yeah, I'll buy a one up, and
she'll
I'll just put
she'll
I'll
sell
put
her
the one up
arcade and go buy a one up.
PCBA. I'll put the one up PCBA in my arcade.
There you
and
go.
that's problem solved.
Glenn, when you bought
Yeah.
your Zaxxon, did you have to do any massive repair to it, or was it pretty much in good shape when you got it?
Oh my God. So when I got that, I think I was 18, and it was in the penny saver, so I didn't even see it. It was like $400, and like, oh, and I came Zaxxon, I love Zaxxon. So I call the guy, he brings it over here, and I like gum from 50 people on one side of the artwork.
I think Jayde had that too.
No, but at least hers was Billy Mitchell, and mine was like some schmo at pizzeria. The artwork was destroyed. The speaker grill was destroyed. The joystick was a ball top. Wasn't even the stick from the machine. The inside has still got Jurassic Park dust in it, so it was in bad shape. And then, of course, my flood happened, and then that took the whole bottom part and destroyed that part. So it still works. But I had to do a lot of work to the PCB as well, because Zaxxons are infamous for losing all the sounds. And there's like 90 caps in there that could go bad.
Was
So
there a separate soundboard on that one, or?
there is a separate soundboard on there. Yep. So, but I had to remove and solder on 90 caps to get the sound working again. But it works again. The sound works. But there are times where people do take care of it. That you get a machine. I see a lot of people getting these machines at really good deals. I know that a couple friends of mine got some really good deals, like $3 or $4 for these machines in like beautiful condition. Unfortunately, not mine. Mine was definitely one where it was a Marine. It was on the front lines for a good 6 months, but it's a trooper and it still works.
Even after the flood, does it still work?
It does still work, but the problem is that my heart breaks more for my Pro Play home arcade, which is the NES arcade that was out in 1990, because the bottom foot, it just absorbed all that water.
Oh.
So yeah, so it's damaged. There's no two ways about it. It'll never look, it'll never walk again the right way. But it still works.
Here's my best advice that I give myself when I'm going to look for a real arcade machine. Do not buy anything that does not work. If it doesn't work, I don't even breathe near
that's
it.
not always a good. I understand that, but there's been a lot of times you go and there's a fuse. I mean, I know someone, no joke, guy gave him like was it Pac-Man or Miss Pac-Man? I think it was Miss Pac-Man. It was a friggin' fuse. It was immaculate. Other than that, he was going to toss it out because it didn't work. It was a fuse.
That's true. That's a good point. But I'm just saying, like, if you really want to reduce or mitigate like your worry or risk,
sure,
like go with something that at least has working guts and isn't rusted and doesn't have a lot of water damage.
Yeah, I would say actually, if the cabinet itself's in really good shape, if that really is good shape. I know people are, they start, when I say LCDs for the CRT, they start like pitchfork stuff coming out. But if the cabinet's in really good shape and the control panel's in good shape and you have to change that out because CRT is really hard to get. That's not a bad deal. Or if the
Yeah.
PCB is bad, a lot of times now you can put a mister in there. It's circuit accurate,
Yeah.
and you have the same machine. So there are pluses and minuses again to both. It really depends. You go somewhere, if the guy's going to give you a beautiful looking machine that's busted for $100, I would grab it. I mean, we buy these arcade one-ups for like $99 just to, make them something else, but, make them a different type of machine. So don't always walk by something that's non-working. If the cabinet's in really good shape,
Right.
you might still be able to make something really neat.
Yeah,
It
If I
depends
could
on
find
what you want too, though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but
Yeah.
if I could find like a Star Wars environmental or Tron environmental that didn't work, I would be all over that.
Okay, yeah. I
know.
mean, that's like a no-brainer.
Well, and look at Doug.
Those are like good
Doug,
ones.
what did
Those
Doug
are
buy?
good
He
ones.
bought WrestleMania the arcade and completely remade it, put an LCD screen in
Yeah.
it, and he got it like dirt cheap. Like the guy asked him if he wanted it, because it didn't work.
Dirty Doug, and he did it done
But
cheap.
Yep.
I guess when I was answering it, I meant like that was directed towards someone who just wants a specific game and they're looking for something, and don't
You're
just
backpedaling,
get
I
something
understand.
that is going to be working when you get it if that's what you want. Now, if you just want a shell, or something that's a shell and a working monitor maybe, or just a shell, then it doesn't really matter. You just don't want water damage and you want all the components to be there basically. So the rest of it is
Right.
just bonus if something else is working or you get it
Yeah.
working. But I mean,
Generally-
like there's a lot of good opportunities to get something for super cheap, like $200-300, and then literally stick, like Glenn was
But
saying, like a mister in there and like a
if
new
you
control
just
panel.
want to play it, just buy the emulated one-ups and iArcades and AtGames and throw
Again,
a
we go
PC
through
in
this
it.
all the time. If you're a purist, no one ever goes.
Oh,
to
if you're a
emulate
purist, well,
period.
forget it. Those
Period.
those
But
options
it also
aren't even.
depends on your
yeah.
skill level. Like Jade has very valid points. If
Yeah.
you're not very familiar with the stuff, you need to buy one already working. I'm not terrific with the woodworking. If I was, I'd fix my cabinets. I'm better with the electronics part. I could fix,
Yeah.
motherboards. I could fix control panels. I can do that type of thing. Not too big. I can put wood putty on there, but it's never going to look, the right way. So we all have our own individual skills and levels. So it really comes down to what you're willing to put into it. I mean, sometimes, like cars, people buy cars that are junk, rust,
Yeah.
dead. And
Right.
6 months later, some guy buys his car, and it's the most gorgeous car you've ever seen in your life. And he just two hands brought it back
Yep.
to
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
I'd rather see someone do that than these poor machines. I've seen people putting them on their, up for the trash man to pick up. They're out in the rain.
Yep.
It's like, Jesus Christ, no!
Yeah, no, definitely shoot for something that you like is in your skill level. Like don't think you're gonna do something that
Like
you're
a-
not sure if you can do. Only pick it up if you know you can,
Like a
fix it or
complete-
take care of it, whatever.
Complete
I don't know.
restore. Yeah. No. And you have to have the room for it. Some of these arcades are super deep.
Yeah.
I had an
And
opportunity.
heavy.
Yeah, I mean, I had an opportunity,
They are
like I said,
very
for
heavy.
$600 for WrestleMania the arcade game, and I know it's hard to find, and it works. Everything works on it, and I can't pull the trigger on doing it and bring it. I just can't.
Was it inexpensive?
$600
comparably?
$600.
You know what you do? You buy it now and you
I know.
put it in, put it in a friend's garage for a while just so you have it.
It just needs new artwork, like everything, and it probably needs some T-molding at the bottom from sitting. I think probably some little bit of water damage on the bottom. I'm thinking. just around the
T-molding's
corner.
$40. Artwork.
Yeah, that's
is
not expensive.
About 200.
I get Ms. the Prophet to make me the right stuff. I mean, I would probably change all the buttons out and that kind of thing because the buttons are probably shot after all that time.
And you just take your king size bed, make it a queen size bed, and you tell the missus.
Yeah, that won't
Right on
that
the
won't
button.
work after that. Just find
Yeah.
a new bed. On that note, let's take a look at this week's Make or Break.
Make or break.
All right, it's time for this week's Make or Break, and this is one that I felt, I guess, very strong about. I picked up the deluxe edition here of Rainbow Six Extraction, Tom Clancy's, knowing full well that every other Tom Clancy video game, anything that has that name on it, has been a disappointment from Ubisoft. And why did I think this one was going to be any different? Let me ask you guys, was this a make
or a break.
Entry 1373. The Chimera parasite has resurfaced. But this time, the Rainbow Six organization has created a dedicated unit to face this new threat. React. I'm proud of the team Eliza and Jordan have managed to round up. The data we are recovering in the hot zones is critical. Hundreds of scientists assist me and the operators on the field in studying the parasite to adapt our technology, making sure everyone makes it back. This biofilm, the sprawl, is key to the parasite's activity. We also found traces of human DNA in its composition. Throwing the bait. We've observed at least 12 new Archean types, and various mutations which we are starting to give names. The Lurker, capable of cloaking itself and nearby Archeans. The Apex, able to summon lesser creatures from the sprawl. I'm concerned about how they can evolve. We'll need to adapt quickly. After these events, the latest data is unsettling. The Chimera is up to something. Something dark. I need to warn Eliza. I thought we were ahead, but I was wrong.
Friends play free with Buddy Pass. Pre-order Rainbow Six Extraction now.
All right. So you guys heard my gripe on this. Like one of the things like I was telling these guys during the break was while we're watching this, like I bought it because I thought like me and two of my friends could go in there and play.
There's no friends.
And they randomly just pair you up with people. You can play with other people, but let's say I was playing with Bill and Jade because Glenn doesn't have a PS5. He didn't even know.
I tried on my ColecoVision. It didn't load.
And if we were going to play it, that's great. We could start playing it. But then if I wanted to continue play it, I have to play with them. If they're not available, then I can't play it. Like there's things with it that are really stupid. The control on it is really bad. Like I'm really sorry that I pre-ordered this back when I did. I was going through my collection trying to find a modern game that I absolutely hate, and I have another one that's right up there at the top of the list. But this has got to be the worst PS5 game that I own. And I probably have a 30-game library for PS5 right now. So this is probably the worst, in my opinion.
But you can still do a single-person game. But if you
No.
do start a multi, you can't.
If I play, I have to play with two other people, and they're randos that they add to it. Like, you can't just go in and do it by yourself. You know? So it's like, well, that's dumb.
Playing by yourself is half the fun.
I'm with you. I wanted to play the campaign.
Yeah,
So
and there's nothing more fun than playing with some 12-year-old who's going to taunt you the whole time.
well, taunt you or just not communicate with you because you got to work together to go to certain areas to blow certain things. It's like I was saying, it's kind of like Call of Duty meets Battlefield, and I think Jade said it with a little bit of Resident Evil. It's like those three or Alien versus Predator. It's all like combined in there, and it's I don't know. I was really disappointed with it, and I pre-ordered it. Sorry, Glenn. I pre-ordered it with the special edition from Best Buy.
As long as if you pre-order from a company, the company actually gives it to you first when you pre-order. There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, I got it a day
when
before
you
release.
Get from a company that constantly you pre-order with and they give it to everyone first. That's a problem.
No, you're right. I haven't had problems with console games. Jade, do you have any experience with this game? Have you ever played it besides, like, I mean, going back to the Nintendo 64 version, it was decent. Wasn't the best, but it was okay.
Oh, yeah, Rainbow Six.
Okay, so you're right there with. So make or break. As we've seen a lot of breaks here in the chat room.
It's a break for me, but I mean, I haven't liked any of those games except for Wildlands.
Okay, and definitely it's so Zohar says I'm not even going to go through his name. I'll end up being here for forever. He says I should definitely try Siege. I have it in the other room. I was just really tainted by the whole thing because it's like I was like expecting this. This was supposed to be really good, and I had my son download it on Game Pass, and he's like, "Dad, this is horrible."
Now, when you are playing with your two other friends, is it a good game, or you still find it's
No,
not a
the
good game even with
controls
them?
controls clunky. I don't know. It's not fun. It's really not fun. Like, oh, so okay. My buddy, Mr. Steve Wright, he just came in here. I'm gonna put this comment up here. This clown here. He goes, "Yo, Fruity Pebble, stop crying and get. You need this." LOL. I got to go to the movies. Yeah, listen. This guy here, he did a video the other day of a confessional where he's talking to Hurricane Helms when he met The Rock. So he brings him a gift. What does he bring him? A grown man brings another grown man cologne. And a wrestler, nonetheless. He brings The Rock, when he met him, cologne. And he says, I'm the Fruity Pebble. Go watch the video on Mr. Rightway's channel. It's hilarious.
Isn't that like a prestigious thing to do to a man?
No.
You give him cologne,
The Rock,
you're like, are
you have to watch the video because he shows you The Rock's response when he gave it to him. I'm just saying, go watch his video. I think he put it up yesterday or the day before. I was watching it last night. Hilarious. He's talking to him and Hurricane Helms, who's another professional wrestler. If you want, it was hilarious. So anyways, and he calls me the Fruity Pebble. All right.
If you smell
it's The Rock. He's still the Fruity Pebble. Anyways. No, I always have a good time with Steve. Him and I used to do some shows way back in the day, in tech and whatnot. So I always watch his stuff. You want to talk about deals? That guy gets deals when he's going for consoles and games. So I learned his tricks of the trade. He says, "I'll do it again." All right. So that was a make or break.
Steve in a real arcade.
That's a make or break. All right. We've got a little bit of Arcade 1-Up news, and it's not the slot machine, so hang on.
Arcade 1-Up. News and notes.
Okay.
I better not read that one.
Let me. Oh yeah, don't read it because he might get mad at you. He don't.
Well, it's definitely not Zohar, so I don't think.
Oh, that's true. It's not. Do you want to read it? Do you want to do the funny voice? Will he eat you live on that?
No, I'm scared.
All right, go ahead and try it. We got your back.
Come on, Marine.
Hurry up before we get this.
Like, you guys are distracting me. Okay. The original version, you can destroy walls, floors, ceilings, window, etc. Rainbow Six Siege is great. Just stay away from extraction. It sucks.
Okay. Fair enough.
Bad.
Unless you got an impacted tooth, you're gonna get that extracted.
Yeah. All right. So I don't know. I saw this on Arcade 1-Up's Instagram today. And I don't know, somebody want to confirm with me, maybe I'm just out of the loop, but I swear this is another Pac-Man that they just released. Pac-Man Plus.
It's Pac-Man Plus for Pooch Edition.
Or they're just telling you it's dog.
They've got
the dog's
they've got the
face is telling you,
Casino-cade.
not another Pac-Man.
Yeah, exactly.
The Casino-cade is marketing to the 60, 70, 80-year-olds. Now you've got Pac-Man Pooch Edition. They're marketing to the home arcade pet. Okay.
So they did the
And then
baby-cade,
you've got
right?
the standard line, and then you've got baby-cade.
They
so
got
you
the
get your
Glen-
babies
the Glen
addicted,
version.
or your baby Glen's addicted. All
And
right.
now we've got the puppy
It's all
edition.
part of their marketing plan.
But didn't
Okay.
they do Puppy Patrol? Didn't they have a Puppy Patrol game? So it makes sense.
I think it has Paw Patrol on there with it. It's
Oh,
Pac-Man
Paw
Plus.
Patrol. I'm sorry,
Paw
Steven.
Patrol.
I'm a little old for these baby shows.
Yeah,
Watch.
yeah. So, can anybody confirm is this something they just accidentally slipped out to distract everybody that online's not working for NFL Blitz and MV Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and that they haven't shipped out Wave 2 to my house yet? Is this the distraction that they're throwing out there? As besides the stupid.
Why? How can you even justify saying that, Steven? Clearly, it's the only thing it's distracting is your home arcade pooch.
Oh, I don't mind the pooch. I'll sit
Hey,
here.
it's a cute dog.
Yeah, it is a cute dog. I don't have a problem with the pooch.
But look
If
at that
your
face.
dog was stressed about you getting your pre-order, now they're good.
But look at that face. He's like, really? Another Pac-Man?
Well,
Really?
that's what the comments were. So I assumed that this was another. Hey, we're just throwing this out there. Type of an arcade, because people are like, really, another
And
Pac-Man?
besides, it's missing the most important part you want to see on one of these things.
Oh, B Kong, thank you.
Hey, what's up, B? So Biggie D says no, it's been out for a while. Good, but
Yeah.
I haven't seen
Yeah,
it.
no, it's not a new machine. If that's what you were asking,
That's what I was
in all
asking. Is
seriousness,
this?
It's not a new machine.
All right,
It's been
good.
out for a while.
Okay, that's what I said when we first saw it. I was like, "Is that new?" I thought the
that's what she
Cabaret has
said?
been out for a minute. Yeah, that's what she
Well,
said.
to be fair, I didn't see it, so to me it was new. But I thought they were going into a line of puppycades now.
Yeah.
So I was just trying to figure this out. Like, are they
It could have been a
secretly?
marketing test?
Well, are they secretly telling you, like, we did the babycade, now we got the old lady cades with the what is it, the slot machines, right?
Mhm.
Now we're gonna do the puppycades.
Yeah.
People will buy them.
Look, have you
All right,
seen?
all right, wait.
Have you
Something's
seen
something's
Westworld?
wrong with this stream now because we just had 3 guys doing this. It doesn't look right.
Notice how I did not.
It was done
participate.
slow,
I
not
noticed. I
fast.
noticed.
It was slow, not fast.
But have you seen Westworld? You know, I think they're putting cameras in these things and watching to figure out what your dog is thinking so that they can know its next move. That way they can make the next best puppycade for it in 2 weeks.
I really hope that that's not even a thought. But I have to agree with people. Not another Pac-Man. I have a feeling though we're going to see more and more of these Pac-Mans coming out. This was more of a joke segment because there really wasn't anything to talk about, and we're not talking about the slot machines. We're not going to even go down that road. Do you really want to talk
there are
about, Glenn?
things
You
to
want the
talk
slot
about.
machines?
I'm just putting it out there. I think they'll start trying to sell those for like $6.99. I think that's what we're going to sell them for. I just wanted to just say that, which is insane.
They're not
That's
going
just
to
my
sell them.
opinion.
They're not going to, unless it's full size. They ain't selling them for $6.99. They might put a price tag on it for $6.99, but they ain't selling it for that.
$2.99 to $3.99.
Yeah, I mean that's what I would say. $3.50.
We should like debate whether or not it's going to be real gambling though. Does it even matter at this point?
We'll have online.
It's not going to be,
Will
so
it
it
be
doesn't
online
matter.
to say how much your cherries got?
Okay, so we are
Mm-mm.
debating, Bill. Okay.
I think it's what's that a sports betting thing that always comes up when you're watching football?
Oh, you bet. Is it you bet?
No, not you bet. Somebody help me in the chat room. What's the betting online thing? Maybe they're connecting. Maybe they're partnering with them. Something Kings. What is it?
Oh, DraftKings.
You know what?
DraftKings. Yes.
If they did that, that would be genius.
So
If they did that.
that's the only thing I could see that making this valuable for those
Not
that
gonna happen.
gamble. Is
I'm going to call it. I'm going on record. These are not going to have any kind of real gambling. These are going to be for fun only.
Oh,
then
I
who
agree.
wants the stupid thing then? Nobody's going to sit there and be like, I
People
want to
do
play this.
online. Think about
Probably
online
2,600
gambling
slots.
apps.
Listen, if people are timing, like I know a lot of
Online
people that
gambling.
play the real slots and they time it, right? And that's how they get it.
Mhm.
You guys want to talk about delay with the arcades? What do you think you're going to have on the slot machine? You're going to have like freaking 3-second
Oh,
delay
yeah.
from the time you pull the
If
stick.
If it was real money too, you would never win because
DraftKings.
Well-
There you go. Thanks, Meatball.
First of all, you got to make sure when you pull the lever, it doesn't snap in half when you pull it.
But see, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Wait. Glenn, we got a new product for you.
Is the lever a Tron stick?
No, I
You got
good idea.
you gotta come out with a slot lever now. It's
Yeah, it's
got no
inevitable. You got to
You know
do
what I
it.
could do? I can make the lever and have my head at the top. The ball.
Ragman in the chat room here. I'm going to pull up this comment. He says no real. They will not put that much work into it, and that's the thing. So anybody that's really diehard with slots, I get it. Whatever. It's not my fancy. I don't plan on doing anything with it, but
It doesn't tickle your fancy.
it doesn't tickle my fancy. And if you're going to have all this emulation delay and all this other stuff that everything else is, it's not even something you can practice for when you go to Atlantic City or Vegas. It's just not. It's going to fail like the Babycade. There, I said it. Now, Nostalgia, when he watches this, he's going to tell me how wrong I am, like he did with the Babycade. But I was right about the Babycade. So I'll go on record for that. So even
See,
I mean, I could go one on one.
Look, Angel just said, my mom has always got me great toys as a kid. The slot will be a great gift for my moms. There's a lot of people that are saying that. I'm telling you, it's going to work.
So it's
It
the
doesn't
Momcade.
matter
So
if
is
it's
it
real gambling or not?
It's the Momcade? Is that what we're calling it?
It's got to at least have tokens. It's got to pay out something. If it's just pulling it and nothing, at least have fake coins or tokens. It's got to pay out.
Well, it'll just
Yeah.
be on screen. It'll like trickle down the screen.
No.
It's got to pay out
Yeah.
some token coins or something.
I do think, though, with what you were saying earlier, Glenn, if they could figure out to make a 21 plus machine where you could actually link it online to do gambling with it,
That would be genius.
I think
But you know
people
what?
would sell.
That's the
People
problem,
would
though.
buy it.
Not all states would allow you to even sell something like that.
No, I
That's the
get
next
it.
problem.
Right.
I do get that, but I'd still say, like, I think they'd have a market there because the hardcore gamblers would so buy that.
They would, and actually, I guarantee in Montana, where they have the Yosemite show, they don't like those gambling things over there. They'll take you out to the train station and come back from the train station.
The Grandma-cade. Mitchell R in the chat room. He's calling it
Grannycade.
the Grandma-cade. Yeah, the Granny-cade. Okay.
Grannycade.
So I don't know. Listen, I don't want to go through the weeds too much with this. I personally think this is going to fail in the sense of you're going to get these on sale.
But you know what? Again,
But I don't know nothing about
it's
slots.
an idea. You throw these things out there.
I
to
get
the
it.
community and out, and you see if something does. Oh, there's good interest or bad interest. I'm saying right now this is probably a dumb one, but who knows?
Yeah. Well, and that's what Bill
You're
said.
probably going to see this. This is going to be, big on like the QVC and the HSN. That's where this is going to sell.
It's $6.99.
Yeah,
10 easy payments.
$6.99. I'm serious. If that ends up being $6.99, now I will say if they actually had a Wheel of Fortune game, not slots, game, I would buy it because I know a lot of like my wife's mom when she comes, my mom when she comes, they would play it. They would sit there and play
one. That's one I could actually get her to say yes to.
It's pretty good. There's a plug and play came out from Jack's Pacific. Wheel of Fortune's good. It's got the wheel, spin it, and of course then your TV set. $20.
Yeah, but I want it on like a standalone arcade, so it's in the
Okay,
arcade.
So take one of your arcade one-ups, put a TV set in it, take a Jack's Pacific, plug in the composite cables, boom, there you go. Just helping you out.
He's got all the answers, doesn't he?
And Catalina wine mixer.
I just put a poll in there. Let's ask the community. Are you buying this? Are you gonna buy this Casino-cade? I just put it in the chat here. You guys can
In any way, shape, or form.
Any way, shape, or form.
It doesn't matter. You think you'll buy one?
And that's okay. You can prove me wrong because maybe, like I said, I don't know nothing about. I don't gamble, so I have no interest in this stuff. But
I bet your mom does.
Oh, my
Your
mom probably
mama
does. Yes.
I saw your mama
I
doing
didn't mean it like
Sounds like a mama.
mean it
That
like
sounds
that.
like a
Thanks,
mama
Jade. Thanks, Jade. Appreciate that.
I did not mean it like that.
Yo,
literally.
mama.
Literally.
Your
Yeah.
mama plays some arcade one-up slots.
Yep.
No, it is funny. And when we were talking about this before the show, I did say, I did put up a video with the leaks and whatever, and it's funny because it is about like half the comments were that's the stupidest thing I've ever seen, and half were that's cool, I want one. So
You guys, we are talking
there is a
about
market for it.
Casino-cade right now.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's out of hand.
We
It's all
said we
Bill's
weren't.
fault.
We said we would.
We're not gonna. I just.
For once,
I don't
it's
want to go
not
through the
my fault.
weeds. I don't want to go through the weeds here. All right. So
Moving on.
We are deadlocked. I was going to grab this. We're deadlocked on 50-50.
That's
a gambling
votes,
thing,
though.
isn't it?
But that's
gambling
still pretty
term,
good. So 38 votes. Yeah, 50-50, 38 votes. So about half the consumers would say that they would buy it.
Uh-oh, it just shifted.
Oh, it shifted. We said at 51.
49.
Yes, 49.
I'm telling you, people are gonna buy it. They're gonna just soak it up like a sponge. And Arcade one up is just gonna be raking in the money, and they're gonna be like, like rep.
I don't think so. Because nobody's talked about the price of this thing. If you price this
$6.99, I told you
it's got to be a $149 or $199. If it's not, you're not selling it. You're not selling it.
$2.99.
You're not selling it at $2.99 for a countercade size slot machine. It ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, not to you, not to you, Steven. But what about Grandma Josephine?
Not in this economy. Ain't happening. 149 is a sweet spot for these. You heard it here first.
Steven, go 149, Steven.
149.
Yeah, but Arcade 1-Up has not been at any kind of sweet spot in their machines for a long time.
That's true. They want you to buy an $89 stool with
Buck Hunter for an extra $100.
How many people are buying these stools? How many people are buying these stupid stools for $89?
When they come with it, it's
not all of them.
Yeah. Like for like $89, that's insane.
For a Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Jayde put it out.
It's insane.
$90 for a stupid stool.
Nope.
That stool is not my favorite stool that I've seen from them.
It's ridiculous for that price. I don't know who they're
I own
shooting
3
to.
of their stools, and I have not paid full price for any of them. I've always bought them on sale.
I've only gotten their stools
under
with
50.
my arcade caps.
Same here. I won't pay for them. I can go to Big Lots right now and get a man cave one that's $15 each.
Right, exactly.
Each.
And they're more sturdy.
Yeah, and they're more padded. The Tron one, I swear it's less padded than my big blue stool.
Yeah, you might not be wrong about that.
You've noticed difference in quality in the padding from because those are the only 2 stools that I have that have any kind of from Arcade 1-Up, if you will.
I don't know.
I wonder if the earlier ones were better because I have like the Centipede Asteroid. I have Centipede Asteroids and Pac-Man.
Didn't those tear? The earlier ones?
And they're pretty decent. I mean, you know what? I don't spend a lot of time on it. I bought them for my pub table, which is actually taken apart right now until I get the game room together, and then I'll put it in there. But they seemed okay when I first got them. But then again, like I said, I haven't spent a lot of time sitting on them.
We're going to love you no matter what. This is how Bill started off. He was like, I got my Centipede and Asteroids one, and I just love them. They're okay. I mean,
all right.
So,
all right.
So Elmo watches wrestling. He says, so Steven, do you think that the Casino Cades will be the first arcades to make it to the dollar store? Yes. You, sir, won the internet today because I agree with that. But
you know the dollar store is $1.25 now.
Well, and $5 and $10 and $20. But who's counting? Either way, that's about what they're worth. I'm not. But even the stools, man. Like I bought the stool that I'm sitting on with a low back that I also use. I let people use over here at the games. They use for the broadcasting. It swivels. It has a footrest on it. For 2 of them, I paid $82 for it on Amazon, and they're more comfortable than the stools.
Did you hear about Zohar's new product? Because he's selling all that I Love John D merch. He's making a stool that when you sit on it, it farts and it smells like John D's fart.
Glenn, you got it on pre-order, don't you? You like those crazy things like that. Oh, my goodness. And on that note, folks, we're going to take this opportunity right now to see what's on deck with Endless 1-Up.
What's going on, everybody? It's Endless 1-Up. You're watching Game Time, but you know what time it is. If you're singing me, it's time to talk about the Steam Deck. What are we going to talk about? Well, FSR. Do you know what FSR is? It's an AMD-based thing. NVIDIA has its own, but what it is it essentially takes a smaller resolution image and then upscales it. So it uses some math And it's like, hey, I know that these 4 little orange pixels would take up these 8 pixels if we made it this much bigger. And so it just figures out all that math and essentially expands all the different colors to match that resolution so that image can be displayed in that, but it's processing it at a smaller resolution. So instead of having to process it at 4K, it could process it at 1080 and then show you it in 4K. So it's a super duper cool feature, and the Cyberpunk game is now supporting 2.1. I'm in the patch notes for Cyberpunk here. You can see added support for AMD Fidelity FX Super Resolution 2.1. That is what we're talking about. So let's go and show you a little bit more about FSR. So I'm on the Steam Deck here, and I'm into the quick settings. If I come down here to this little battery icon, yes, it's a battery. Do you know why? Because it takes power to display pixels.
Hey, McFly, you bojo! The bus don't work on water! Unless you've got power!
And especially if you have to map them out into a higher resolution, it takes more power than if it's a smaller resolution. That's why this is such a useful tool. So you come down to this scale filtering here. This is the Steam Deck's built-in functions. So if you turn this on to FSR here, and then you have the sharpness. We all know what sharpness is. It essentially helps minimize anti-aliasing, or essentially, refines edging and stuff like that, kind of cleans it up. It makes it sharper. So it's like focusing in on something. So 5 sharpness means that we're going to have it look the best that it can. So that's essentially, what do we want it to look like? That's like quality. So that's like ultra quality. And then on the lower end of that scale, where it's like going down into like 1, this would be like performance. You want to get the most performance out of the thing. So this possibly would give you more frames per second, because then it's not trying to change. Let's just say that it's this like 5 times more computing is going to be done to it to make it look better versus 2 times computing, and I don't know if that's exactly correct, but the idea is, the sharper it is, the better the image is going to look, the more quality of image you're going to get. So yeah, let's get back. And there's some pretty good frames out there. I'm going to do a What's on Deck on it, so I hope you check that out. We've already done an older What's on Deck, but we're going to do a new What's on Deck with the dock, with FSR, so come check that out. But right now, let's get back to game time. Thanks for watching.
As always, we really appreciate Endless One Up, Mr. Dan,
Great
for
job.
putting that together for us for this week. And if you haven't, go subscribe to his channel. He just did a giveaway for a Steam Deck, and he's been having a lot of different giveaways going on. So,
and he's got his show with Mike Game Killer. It's a really fun show.
And that's when's the Sundays? Is that Sundays?
Sundays, yeah.
Yeah.
Sundays, right, Dan?
Yeah, Dan, put it in the chat room, because I always watch it in reruns, because I don't get to watch it when you do it, because I'm usually engaged in something over the weekend, which is why we don't do this show over the weekend. So, but yeah, he can put that in the channel. The spam bot shouldn't get you on that, but yeah, it's pretty cool. And I know we've got some stuff here from iArcade. We're gonna take a look at that.
iArcade. News and notes.
All right, so yeah, a lot of people know that iArcade is having a big sale right now. They've been doing sales on their games for a couple of weeks now, where they've been putting different genres of games on sale. But they just announced, too, that they're going to be putting some of their cabinets on sale between now and the end of the year. So, and all right, I have to say this. Look, free shipping in the U.S.
Ooh.
So these are kind of a good deal compared to other companies.
Another $100 in savings, I think, right?
Yeah, something like that, they said. But yeah, look, the gold edition is back down to the price that it was during their initial pre-order for it. However, they did make a point of saying that those are going to be very limited, because they were basically out of them, and they had a bunch made specifically for this sale. Unfortunately, they didn't say how many, but they are definitely limited. But you know what? Look, if you're not if you don't really care about the new gold and you just want to pick up an iArcade because you don't have one or yet or whatever, the standards are a pretty good price too. That the 128 being 500 and the 64 being at 400.
That's not a bad deal. What do you guys have? Do you have the 128 or the 64?
64.
64. That's what
I've
I have.
got the 128 with Sanwa.
Oh, I got the 128. Jeez. We wouldn't expect anything
and I have
less.
the gold.
You have the gold. Oh, I got the gold.
Bill
Oh.
has the gold.
Got to go for gold.
So,
But I've got the double dragon.
This is
Yes,
true.
that's a beautiful looking cabinet.
That is a good
when
cabinet.
the artwork's on the right way. It's
yeah.
I was so lucky.
Wait,
that
you don't want to go
stickers
for the
went back
beach buggy
on.
one?
I was so. You know what, Bill? We're done. You're dead to me.
I told her that. I was like, "You just getting this iArcade because you want to play beach buggy racing, and they have 1 and 2."
It is a fun game. It's a fun game.
Yeah, no, I mean, I can go from playing it in my Tesla to playing it on my iArcade and playing it on my TV. I mean, what more can I ask
You
for?
can't.
I would love to play it in my Tesla, but every time I go to get a Tesla, they raise the price $10,000.
It's because you don't live in California.
That's why you turned your Civic into a Tesla, but that's a whole nother comment.
Well, I mean, it shouldn't really matter that much since you're spending about $10,000 a month on gas, Glenn. So
He is in New York,
No
so
lie.
I mean, it's
No lie.
New York and California got the highest gas prices.
$3.89 a gallon here.
Wow, that's not too bad. Ours was last week. It was like $3.40. I think it was $3.42 last week.
It was $3.60 like a week and a half ago, and then bang, went right back up.
Well, because of the elections, it always goes up and then it'll drop, and then it'll go back up when everybody's traveling for Thanksgiving and Christmas. That's normal. So let's talk a little bit about. I see everybody's throwing this in here about Ninja Baseball. Batman was good get for iArcade. It was a good get, but I didn't think it was like everybody's like, oh, this is a banger.
I don't get why it's like a huge deal.
It's not a good game. It's really not. It's a fighting game. I get it, but it's like I'd rather play I'd rather play Get Glen in 65th Street.
I mean, it's cool. Like they have like, a handful of cool games on there. It's just like I just don't get what the big deal is. Like everybody's acting like somebody just revealed like the ancient god of.
They act like it was Toe Jam and Earl. Now that's a big deal.
Yeah,
they have that already.
I know. That's what I said. That was a big deal. I don't think it's a hidden gem, but Jade, do you think it's a hidden gem?
I mean, like if you mean a paid for hidden gem, then sure. Otherwise, you can just hop on your local MAME and Ninja Baseball Batman it up.
Yeah, but let's be honest. You can do that with just about, every game on arcade.
Dolores,
or on. Oh God,
Dolores. She goes, take a shot every time Steve says banger. Listen, this is iArcade talk. That's what they say.
I'm trying.
That's what they say every single time they bring a game out. They're like, this is a banger.
I hate that term.
I
hate that term. I hate when people talk about AAA titles. It's so subjective.
But it's a banger.
It is subjective, but when you think AAA, you're thinking big, like something that is like marketable and recognizable across the world. That's AAA.
Yeah, I just don't think this. Listen, it's a great get for iArcade. Don't get me wrong. The fans of the iArcade should be thrilled. But it's like I said earlier, I want more modern games on my iArcade. Otherwise, I'm going to sell it. That's where I'm at right now because I don't want to keep.
I'm definitely not going to sell mine. I think that there's a lot of cool games that I would definitely that I'm keeping it for. I mean,
there's Beach Buggy. You're right. And Retromania.
Specifically,
there's
Beach
good.
Buggy Blitz, and then all of these Sega games. So I mean, like all the Sega games. There's a couple good shmups on there. And then I think I had Windjammers on there before I got my MVS4 slot. So I mean, there's like good games on there. But it's just like I just don't think like it seems like it's just made to be like a really big deal, and it's like really not that big of a deal. It's cool.
Yeah, I mean, again, to each their own, and you have your fanboys. They think this is the greatest thing, and that's fine. It's just not a game that appeals to me. The Halloween game that came out was a couple weeks ago. I know we missed the shows the last couple of weeks. We had some stuff going on, but the Halloween game, I wasn't too keen on the black and white at first, but then as I got to play it, I was like, oh, okay, this is fun. It's more modern. I actually like that game better than this one.
Paul said it. If it has replay value to you,
it does.
It's worth keeping. That's all that matters. If you're happy with it, if you like it, cool. I think we're just I think we were just saying like it's like not that big of a deal, but I mean, you know what? Maybe to some people it's a huge deal.
Like I think when Double Dragon came out, that was worth like shouting from the rooftops, right? That game, even if you have it 100 million times, having that in its true arcade form, I thought that was cool.
Well, look, the one thing you could say about Ninja Baseball Batman is it does have a cult following to it, and it isn't really available on any other platform.
Bill, does it have
other than emulators?
Does it have online play?
Yes.
Okay, it's already better than Marvel vs. Capcom 2 from Arcade 1-Up. So, okay, continue.
No, but like in all seriousness, just because you're talking about, modern games and whatever, and I'm a little more into the retro games on it. I like the arcade games there. I like some of the modern stuff. I did think that Halloween game was a lot of fun, but it also reminded me of Tapper. So, there you go with that. In some respects, I wonder if iArcade is, I don't know if they're trying to get the best of both worlds or if they're splitting their fan base with the fact that they've got both retro titles on it and modern titles and modern retro style titles, because I think there is a segment that only wants to see newer games on it, and then there's a segment that only wants to see old school arcade games on it. And when you have a new game, the old school guys say this sucks, and when you have an old game, the new guys say this sucks.
You have options though. You have, and I'm with you, Bill. Like I love all the old school games. Like that's my primary reason for owning it. I mean, any of the other stuff is just kind of a fun bonus thing. But legitimately, I like all of the original arcade games on it. That's what's fun to me. But I mean, I agree that it is like that. Like you have options with it. Some people definitely go for the newer stuff or the remix stuff. And then there's, some of the people like us who are kind of just more into it for the availability of multiple older arcade games that they have on it. And occasionally, something good pops in. So it gives you options. I mean, and that's, I think, one of the nicest things about it is that you have options with it.
Well, I think the only thing everybody needs to know right now is that Bears is on sale. That's the important thing to remember.
Well, so I was gonna add to that with you. There's also a holiday sale for iArcade, right? For some of these. Here, you ready, guys? Get ready with your shots. Banger titles, 30% off, right? Is that what it is? It's 30%. Is that what it is? 30% off. I think that's what the email said. Yeah,
30% off. Yep,
30%. So I think that's
pretty
good
much
deal.
all the games.
Like we talked about earlier, and I know this is probably gonna hurt Glenn more because he likes the original Space Invaders, but this new Space Invaders game that they came out with, I had a lot of fun with that one.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a really good game. It was more modern. Like I have the AtGames Legends. I don't want the same game on every machine, and I figured with the Retromania, that was a good game. It's a modern game with a retro feel. There's a couple other ones that I play on there.
You know what game I really wish they would come out with aside from Super Street
Congo
Fighter
Bongo
2?
Don't knock
Ultimate
Congo
Bongo. Ultimate Super Street Fighter 2. I wish they would come out with that, but
never happened.
I wish they would come out with Tempest 4000.
Why?
Because Tempest is a badass game, and Tempest 4000 is really fun. I mean, if you like Tempest 2000, Glenn, Tempest 4000 is really cool.
I've only played 3000 on my new one. Probably no one knows what that is, but Tempest 2000 and 3000, so I'm sure 4000 the same way, is a fun take on it.
4000 felt more like 2000 to me, but just massively upscaled. and it's really fast paced, and it's got a lot of like cool little nuances to it.
It's
but
one of those games where you
Is
just
that one of the
shoot
ones
and let
that
it
plays
go.
better when you're stoned?
Yeah, I was gonna, or drunk.
Well, let me ask you guys something. Rage of the Dragon. Since we're talking about the fighting game with the baseball and Batman.
No, we were talking about Tempest. And not
No, wait, hear me out. I think that's a better game than the baseball Batman.
Rage of the Dragon is actually pretty cool. That was one of
It
I
is.
picked that
It's
up
a good-
on the sale,
it's a
and
good
I
fighting
am
game.
enjoying that one.
I don't know. That's just how I'm looking at it.
Well, okay. The Ninja Baseball is not a fighting game. It's a beat 'em up. So a little different. I mean, it's more in like the Double Dragon or Final Fight
it is,
category.
but
than...
it's pretty bad. I like beat 'em ups, but it's just bad, man.
You know what's really good is Final Fight CD
Retromania?
on the
Oh,
Sega
yeah.
CD.
Yeah, Final Fight's good.
That's
I
really
love
good.
Final Fight. I'm hurting all
Are
the.
you plugging your Genesis Mini 2 now?
No, I'm just plugging that game. It rocks.
64th Street has got to be the best beat 'em up that I like on the iArcade. That's probably.
Are
Yeah.
they coming out with like a Steamcade? Because that would be. There's some like really good games. I should make that a Steamcade.
Don't even get me
Oh,
started.
you know what?
on that.
Polycade is like the Steamcade. That would be.
I want to. Let's take a look. Jayde did some. Let's talk some real arcades here, really quick. Jayde put together this video here, and then you guys get to see the oodles of 3-inch dust in the bottom of her MVS cabinet. Take a look at this.
Oh God, wrong tape, sorry.
Here's the MVS. I just finished picking up all the crud out of here, and then I'm gonna vacuum it out. Here's the 4 slot. I'm pretty sure the monitor is going to need to be recapped, but it looks like it might be getting a little bit of vertical collapse. Here's all the treasure I dug out of the MVS. Overall, much better.
All right, so after I cleaned out like the 8 pounds of dust, I basically went back up through here, figured out where the latches for the control deck were, unlatched it, and kind of started to clean up under there. That little switch you just saw was actually the adjustments for the monitor. Now this panel was what was on top of the control deck, which was complete trash, and it wasn't the correct one that's supposed to be up there. So took that off and threw a coat of paint over this after I cleaned it up. Yeah, and you see that sticker, I didn't even bother to rip it off. I was just like, whatever. I ripped all the T-molding off and painted all the back pieces, roof included. And you can see there's like little specks of, I'm guessing that was like from water or something, like it got rained on. So I wiped it off and then painted over it, and that, pretty much sealed the deal. So it was all good to go after that. I got new T-molding from, I can't remember the name of the site right now, but it's about $25 for 40 feet of T-molding. And then I got this paint, which if you're interested, let me know. I'm going to be posting a video soon. Actually, I'll just put the information in there, but I got this paint off Amazon. It's a brand that's very reliable that I always use. And it was already like good to go color-wise. It matched right up. It goes on kind of pink, but when it dries, it looks perfect. And painted over everything. So I did clean it off with a magic eraser and some simple green. And I didn't bother like sanding anything down. I just gave it basically one fresh coat of paint. And then I had these stickers. These stickers, there's a really cool story behind these stickers, which I'll tell you guys after the rest of this video is through, but they're very old. Anyways, slid my stickers on, put the new control panel on. Those are all Suzo hat buttons and hat joysticks. And she looks beautiful and plays beautiful. I adjusted the monitor and it's like a whole new cab. So the cool story with the stickers is that I've had those stickers since, I don't know, they're over 20 years old. And I ordered them because originally I was going to buy an MVS, like a full-size arcade, but then I ended up joining the military. Somehow I held on to them. And so since I finally got it, I got to put them on my actual legit MVS. Yay.
Hollywood Polo says, nice work, Jayde. Mike says, looks great. Endless One Up says, looks great.
And all that took her about 20 minutes.
Thanks.
I was waiting for you to tell us, how long did it take you to do all that?
So once I had everything, because I pretty much got everything, like it all came in the same day. I think it took me about 3 days.
Wow.
To tune it up.
I'm impressed that you painted it on those nice hard floors that you have, and you didn't make a mess, and you did splatter the paint onto the walls of how close it is to the walls. Like, you know that's an accident waiting to happen.
It's all in the hands.
No, it looks really, really good, and maybe next week
Yeah, it does.
you could do a little bit of a show and tell of your driving cabinet, the stuff that you did with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Rush.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think that was, it turned out really nice. And that's one of those things where, you got rid of your other MVSX 3/4 scale. If you have it looking that nice, yeah, why not? Get rid of it. Take the original over that.
Yeah.
No, it was those were like a really, really good find. So the quick story, the owner of those he works with vending machines, and he runs his own business basically. He also used to have his own printing business, so he actually did the printing for the stickers on the side of my Rush cab. But anyways, I'll tell you guys more about that next week. So he gets like really crazy deals on arcades all the time, and now we talk all the time now, and he just got like a Nintendo Play Choice 10, totally working, nice condition for like $500. So those cabs he was just offloading, and he gave me I was like, if I take both of these off your hands, can I take them for $800? And he was like, yeah.
See, Glenn, she gets them with the arcades. I get them with the consoles.
Choking these prices. I'm dying over here.
Yeah.
No, it's pretty cool. I love watching the adventure. We saw the one with the Donkey Kong. We now saw the one with the MVS, and it'll be really interesting to see the Rush. Because I've seen, if you follow her on social media, you probably have seen some of the updates that she's done and blowing up your phone with shorts.
Yeah.
But they're there or on TikTok. So
It's actually a lot of fun watching your daughter play Rush. That was cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, they love the driving games.
Although, what was the other one when you were at Disneyland? That the old arcade where they were all standing there and it was like a wide open. I was like,
the shooting range.
Yeah, the shooting range. I was like,
the shooting range. Yeah, I every time I go there, I'm just like, thank God this is still here. It's like a piece of history. I'm like, the hippies haven't gotten rid of it yet.
I was gonna say we haven't seen any of those around here. Like you can go into the mall and they have they put like a cork on the end of the rifle and you could shoot.
We have a place in New York called Playland, and they have one of those shooting things, and now it's like that where it's like they're light guns.
Yeah.
Back in the day, they shot real BBs.
Yep.
Oh, not anymore.
I missed that.
Cool.
And I
Yeah,
missed
cool.
that. That was awesome when they shot real BBs at the little targets. And every time you hit a target, the animatronic would move and whatever, and it's so cool. It's still fun with the light guns, but it's not quite the same thing. You miss that ping when it hits.
Yep.
Well, that one has.
Glad you know
always
exactly what
been-
I'm talking
Oh,
about.
I do. Yep.
That one has always been a light gun like that. But I can remember being 4 years old and standing next to my dad while he was playing it, and those guns are heavy, like they're heavy metal and wood. And I couldn't even pick them up. Like my littlest one, she had it mounted on the thing, and if you saw her, she had a pretty good shooting position because I got her all positioned into it. But anyways, so they had never had like real BBs or anything, which that's really cool. But it's been there, I think, since like the late 70s.
Wow. Yep, you'll shoot your eye out, kid. That's I was waiting for somebody to say that.
Yep.
You guys have all been here waiting for the reveal of what we were talking about on the thumbnail. We're going to get into that here in just a second. We're going to show you what, according to Bill, and I kind of agree with him, but now he's going to make me buy something else. Him and Glenn have been doing this for a while. This is what every, I would say gamer, I know I put retro gamer, but it should be gamer, should buy.
Hey there everyone, for today's video I want to talk about something that I don't normally talk about a lot, and that is modding, because I'm really not much for modding my arcade units, but I know a lot of you are out there, and if you're going to be doing it, one of the things you should consider investing in is a 3D printer like this one. This is the Creality Ender 3 Pro. I picked this up a couple of years ago for about $250. I think they're still right around that same price if you check them out on Amazon, but there's a lot of really cool things that you can do with one of these. Let's just talk about that right now. So of course the beauty of having your own 3D printer is the ability to print things like this to use for your own mods. Now if you're like me, you're probably thinking, yeah, but I don't know anything about CAD design. I don't know of anything about making models to 3D print. And luckily you really don't have to, because there are so many resources online for 3D printing. One of those is a site called Thingiverse. I highly recommend everybody check out Thingiverse, because you can find so many different things from all walks of life, whether it's, you know, something for your arcade product or just something, you know, for, you know, your home that you can 3D print. And the STLs are readily available on the site, most of the time free to download. Another great site, especially if you are interested in building your own or modding your own arcade projects, is Wagner's Tech Talk. Wagner has a thing that he calls OpenCade, and he has 3D models for building and designing your own arcade control panel, and that's something that I've used in the past, and it's something that I plan on using again for a new project I'm working on. So now it's just a matter of sitting back and waiting for this print to finish, and then we'll take it off the printer. Alright, now that the print is done, this is what we have. This is an adapter specifically for Glenn's retro shows buttonhole spinner, his push-pull spinner, because they are smaller and meant to fit in the size of a standard button on a control panel. You can use this as an adapter if you want to put one in, say, an arcade one-up that has a normal size spinner. And basically what you would do with this is you would fit this in the control panel. It would fit right in that spot for the regular size spinner, and then you would take the buttonhole spinner and pop it right in like that and screw it down on the bottom. I'm not going to screw it in all the way, but you get the idea. It'll just hold in place like that, and the top goes on, and you're good to go. Again, this is his standard buttonhole spinner, but this would also work with the push-pull spinner. So there you go. That is just one thing that you can print using a 3D printer for your arcade one-up mods or your own home arcade products. There's a lot of resources out there. Like I said, check out Thingiverse, check out OpenCade, check out other resources. You can print your own coin doors. You can print other adapters and mods. So you can print your own little bat tops or ball tops for your control panels. Whatever it is you think you might need. All right. So there you go. If you are a modder, you might want to consider investing in something like a 3D printer.
All right. So this is something, like I said, Bill's going to make me buy. Glenn's going to make me buy. Well,
you need one.
I was going to buy it.
They're worth it. They're worth it.
So let me ask you guys something, because we're looking at the poll here. I put a poll out here. We got 30 people that have actually responded to the poll. 80% say they don't have one. 20% say they do have a 3D printer. And I think the biggest misnomer, at least even for me, because you guys just explained that during that video, is how long from the time you guys get it home So the time you set it up, once you get the table leveled and everything, how long before you can start printing? Is it an easy task, or some of these guys may not be tech savvy and they're just like, I don't know if I want to touch
There's
that.
a couple things you always need to know with 3D printers. The hardest part is the adhesion to the plate. I have a glass plate, but sometimes you still have to put, what's that? Child paste glue. The Elmer's glue paste.
Elmer's
put that
glue,
down.
yeah.
Right, or you put down painter's tape, just something to help it adhere. Once you get that down, your next big hurdle is temperature. Is it PLA? Is it P-tag? Is it something else? There's different temperatures and different speeds. But once you get that all dialed in, it's going to take you maybe a couple of prints, or in my case, a year. But once you get it dialed in,
you're not helping the situation here, Glenn.
Once you have it dialed in,
I'm out.
You use like Thingiverse.
Yep.
You go to Thingiverse, it's already done.
Yeah, Thingiverse.
You download those templates, you put it in your slicer, and it slices it to your printer, and you set it, and you kind of forget it. And I printed. I'm going to show you right here. Not here. I'm going to take my headset off here. I'll show you something I 3D printed here.
Okay. We'll give him a chance here to. Oh, he's actually going to show it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
there you go.
Okay.
His
Nice.
his Pong. I don't know what you call it. His Pong table.
That was a build plate that was only 200 by 200 by 210, and you build parts and you can interlock them and go bigger. You don't always have to buy the biggest machine.
Right. Mine's about the same size. Yeah.
Right, but they're valuable. You can not only for this type of stuff, you can make parts for your car. You can make all kinds of things with a 3D printer. You can make a boyfriend or girlfriend, or at least parts of them, on these printers if you needed to.
So, how long did it take you to make that?
I thought we talked about that, Steven.
No. How long did it take him to make that Pong table that he has?
The Pong table total it was about, I want to say like 80 hours total.
Oh, that's not bad.
To print the whole thing.
That's not bad. I mean,
No, I was talking about the graphic that just is in the middle of the screen. I told you to fix that.
Oh! I did fix it. It came up. It was a sub over here on. I think it was on Twitch. So, if that was you, appreciate it. What did you want me to do? You want me to move it into the corner, or what do you want me to do?
Fix it.
She just says fix it.
Whatever it is.
What do you want me to do?
It.
You want me to shrink it down? Do you want me to make it bigger? I mean,
I'm just teasing you.
No, I know. Carson in the chat room, Glenn, he says, and Bill, he says, yeah, that would be a little bit too much frustration.
There's definitely work involved. This is not like, you're just printing something to your laser printer. This is, you said you got to set up the printer. You've got anything you download, you got to go through slicing software so that it puts it in the right format for the printer. But once you get once you get it dialed in and everything, there's a lot of cool stuff you can do. This is one of the ones that I made a while back. This is
nice.
Wow,
and
that's actually really cool.
This is. The box itself is completely 3D printed, and then the joystick and buttons was like a $20 kit on Amazon. And then it just, got the USB coming out, and I can play this on my PC. I can play it on my RetroPie, That's really mainly cool. What I did it for was my RetroPie, to have a...
Can you print, can you 3D print like an update for Marvel vs. Capcom 2? No, but seriously,
oh, if only.
That is really... really cool. Like, I really want to get a 3D printer, but I'm being honest, I'm scared because I know like it's going to take me a while to familiarize myself with it and to get like the whole process down. And
they are getting easier. They are getting easier. I mean, the printer I've been having for like 6 years now, and I pretty much got it dialed in. But once it's dialed in, it's pretty much just put the file on there and go. And actually, what Bill had there was cool, but Wagner's Tech Talk, if you go to his website, he's got the OpenCade.
Yes.
And you can print all different shells for controllers for Raspberry Pi. But there's so many more things you can do with it, to be quite honest. Like I had, you could print Legos, and probably cheaper than you could buy friggin' Legos from days.
We got a super chat here, Glenn. We got it from definitely not console fanboy Zohar. Whatever he says, can you 3D print me
definitely
a life I've been told several times that I need one.
Yes, you can.
Wow.
So, like a little one-up mushroom.
Well, that's
Yeah,
what I was waiting
there's
for.
all kinds of cool things on there. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know where to start. You type in, anything, and someone printed it. Like my Atari, my joystick and the old joysticks, that white centerpiece that controls the joystick broke. You could 3D print a new one. You could do that. Switches, knobs, anything. So you print. Someone's printing like a lock. I mean, you get a clock. We print all the gears. You build a clock. I mean, some of the stuff's quite insane. But there's a lot of gaming stuff too. You want to print Atari logos, Nintendo logos.
What about
Mario.
the gears? What about the plastic gears that are in like say your trackball and some of the arcade one-up trackballs? Will they withstand?
I have on Thingiverse. I have my own page on Thingiverse with some items you can print. Like for the trackball, some people felt it was too sensitive, so you can actually 3D print new wheels that go inside my trackball. So, and also Wagner, and Arcade Workshop. All three of us have stuff up there. You can really 3D print. Actually, the Blaze Pong I had made, actually Arcade Workshop made it for me, but you can actually, if you have a Blaze Pong, you can take it apart and you can build the Pong unit that we did that eventually led to the Build-A-Cade, and that was the grandfather of the Build-A-Cade.
So now, if you look, Jade is actually surfing the web right now. She is going to hit the buy button on a 3D printer right now as we're speaking. She's getting to the page, and she's going to say, the next thing she's going to say is going to be like, so what model number did you guys get? And then it's going to be like, all right, guys, it'll be here next week.
I'm going to call you at 2 in the morning, and I'm going to be
See?
like, dude, you got to get this 3D printer.
See?
Well, the thing is, that you can get simple, like Bill and mine, it's a single filament. So you can print one color. And now they have ones you could print 4 colors. Then you have ones that don't use any filament at all. They use the resin, which I can't stand. It's messy, but
I actually have one of those too. I have two 3D printers. The other one is the resin. But I use that. Look, I'm a nerd. I like printing with little miniatures and painting them. So that's what that's for, because it's cheaper than going and buying them.
No, there's nothing wrong. So that's what I want to ask you guys, because I've gotten some 3D printed stuff. I had like an AtGames one, but when I was moving stuff around, it fell and it broke, which I could probably glue it back together. But my thing is, I watched, there's a lot of ridges and stuff around it and like seams. How hard is it, like if somebody wanted to build like little collectibles, maybe they're into Star Wars and they want to print out little, 2-inch Star Wars or gaming characters, right, that they want to have in their game room. How long would you guys say that it takes to clean them up after you're done printing, because you got the seams and all that good stuff on it?
Well, for a resin printer, it's not that bad. First off, if you want something detailed like that, you got to go with a resin printer. A filament printer isn't going to do that kind of detail work, or it's just not going to look right. Or if you do try to do it, the cleanup process is going to just kill you. Trying to sand it down and clean it off and whatever. With a resin printer,
pick it up and sand it down. Pick it up and sand it down.
Yeah. with my resin printer, I also bought a wash and cure station, because you have to cure them. You have to hit them with UV light so it solidifies them. So it's basically a thing. I put it in like an alcohol solution, and that cleans it off and gets all the the resin off of it, basically, because that stuff is toxic. You don't want to be touching that for too long. And then it has a cure piece where it takes a UV light and it just rotates it around and it hits it with the UV light for however long you want. After that, you're good. It's done.
See, that's the thing, though. Resin printers have a lot more steps. You may get a smoother end product. I prefer still a filament printer. You put the filament in, it prints, take it off the thing, maybe you smooth it down. There's ways to smooth them as well. Just resin, like I said, they're toxic. The chemicals are toxic.
But, if you're just going to print something like this, you don't even need to.
Something like this. That's a quality thing you printed there. It's not just something like this.
You know what I mean. If you're going to print this, you don't need to do anything to it afterwards. It's ready to go. Seams or whatever, you're not going to see this. This is going to sit in a control panel, and that's going to be it. So who cares?
And the thing is, with a filament printer, you can print in like a plastic. You can print metal now. Metal wood.
Yeah.
There's all different kinds of filament you could put in there. And again, for someone new into it, I would always recommend filament long before you start dabbling with resin.
So
it's much easier.
When I was modding my Street Fighter 2 originally, my arcade 1-up cabinet, everybody else was like putting coin buttons all over the place. They were drilling them in the front and stuff. And a guy in the community, Sheldon Sims, I was talking to him, and he's like, I got a 3D printer. I said, can you 3D print me some buttons that I could take the switches out of the arcade 1-up so I still have the plexi in that oval shape? And we found on Thingiverse where they had these mounts underneath where you could put 2 of the 10mm buttons underneath. And it actually, when you put the plastic 3D printed oval buttons in the volume control and the power slider, when you press down on them, it actually pressed the buttons underneath, which acted as coin buttons. We mapped them to in the Raspberry Pi to be coin buttons. So then when I put coin buttons on the front, actual coin buttons, I just tapped into those wires and called it a day. But I think for guys that are modding their 1-ups and some of these other ones, having that, because you already have the nice plexi, there's no sense of drilling out that and cracking it and stuff. You know, thing is, I know Angel Otera is selling those buttons like that. He has the access to it because it's on Thingiverse. You can look for it if you haven't. But if you're in the modding arcade 1-ups and stuff, that's, I guess I could see stuff like this. You guys having these printers is
that's the
ideal.
thing. If you go on Etsy or a lot of these guys who sell mods for arcade 1-up or whatever it is, that's all they is. They're 3D printed objects. You want to get little caps to cover the screw holes on your cap. You can 3D print those. You want to get another coin door, again, you can 3D print them for sure.
Jade, you need this for your arcades because they're 30, 40 years old and 50 years old and 60 years old and need to be recapped, and they're going to die soon. And so you need them for the parts so you can have less maintenance.
Yeah.
Maybe 70 years old.
Actually, I watch like when I'm getting into like TikTok reels, and I start seeing 3D printing ones, it gets very like epic in my mind. I'm like, oh my God, look at all these things you can do with these 3D printers. And I always get so close to like, I mean, I've looked at them and thought about buying them, but then I'm like, what are you doing? Like, these people obviously have been doing this for a long time and are really good at it. Cause I've seen people print out crazy stuff, like crazy stuff, and like just in their, in their office or whatever. So it's definitely really cool. Like I want to say that one day in the near future, I will get into it just because of the benefit. Just because of the benefit of it. But they're great. So thanks, Bill, for showing us that and educating me more. Good.
Yeah,
you're welcome.
And we'll have to see some more stuff that you guys are putting out. I would ask Glenn, but it'd probably be another year till we get to see anything.
I don't put out that easy.
No, apparently not.
That's not what I heard.
So we're gonna wrap this up, guys. We're past the time here, and I know Glenn's got to get to bed. He's got a really early day. But if you guys want to check it out over at youtube.com/Shelion Gaming, you can check out Jade's channel and all her shorts and all the good stuff that she's working on as well. Hey. What do you got coming this week?
Yeah, check out Jade Shorts.
But I'm pumped. You're on it tonight.
I've been wearing them good. Yeah. So shout out to Shelby Rats on Etsy. Lyle makes like these killer LEDs that you just plug into your USB port on your arcade 1-up. So if you already have their molded coin door on there, literally all you have to do is drill 2 holes and stick the lights through it. So I made a video on it. If you're interested in something like that for your 1-up cabs, because you hate the inert molded coin doors, it really adds like a glimmer to it. So check it out. Check out the video.
Awesome. So make sure you guys go over there and subscribe. Now that she's over 1,000, she's reached the 1,000+ club. Woohoo! Now we got to get Bill. We got to get Bill to 1,000. If you haven't subscribed to him, go subscribe to youtube.com/Bill's Retro Gaming Show for Wild Bill.
Yeehaw.
What do you got coming this week? Any new videos that people should be on the watch for besides your Marvel vs. Capcom review that's been out? that people can go check it out, and you tell them not to buy it.
Yeah, you can check that out for sure. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we'll have to see what's coming up this week. I don't have anything specific planned, but we'll see.
I do.
There's always stuff popping up.
I'll get to that here in a little bit. Also, Mr. Glen Planamento, youtube.com/GPlanamento. If you missed the beginning of the show, 40% off Glen's products over on, what is it, Thunderstick? Let me get to it. Hang on.
Thunderstick, yeah.
Thunderstickstudio.com. You guys can check it out right there.
And also, for people who did pre-order the GRS Build-A-Cade, we expect to be shipping that out in about 2 weeks. So if you pre-ordered it, you will be the first to get it. Make sure of that. Also, this Saturday, at 12 o'clock Eastern Time, I'm going to have an interview with Larry Bundy. Nice YouTuber, very friendly person. Do an interview with him on this Saturday at noon.
Awesome. And are you doing the old guy show on Friday?
Yeah, we should be doing the old, kicking it old school. It's not the old
He almost said it,
show.
too.
Oh, God, that was brilliant.
Friday night, 8 p.m., the old guy show with Steve and Glenn. Not this Steve, another Steve. You guys can check it out. Kicking it old school. Go in there and tell them.
Kicking it old school before we kick the bucket. Yeah, you got to watch it.
And guys, I really appreciate you guys tuning in. I know you missed us the last 2 weeks. I do want to let you know the week of Thanksgiving there will be no show because we'll all be Gordon ourselves with turkey on that Thursday. But I figured I'd just let you guys know ahead of time.
One last thing. Sorry, one last thing.
Really?
Yeah, just a quick update. So for those of you that are like about the docuseries I'm working on,
yes,
I'm actually on track for a December release right now. So just wanted to give you guys a quick update on that because I haven't said anything about it for a while. But exciting, good progress. Sorry.
Yeah, and some of us have been slacking. I just can't get over it. I have so much backlog that I'm hopefully going to get done over Thanksgiving week. I took off. I have all this that's still sitting there, that still has to be opened, that still has to be reviewed. The only thing that's out of the box right now is the Replicade because I've been messing with that because obviously I got to review it. But I got all this stuff here that I have to go through. And no Thanksgiving show. Come on, I'm just.
We need like a Strickland video clip. Where it's
I know. I'm slacking. It's my fault. My day jobs. I've been doing a lot of production work because their studio is down for main headquarters. So I've been doing a lot of production work. I just haven't had the time to do my own stuff. So that's the unfortunate part when you do video for a living. I know you guys. I had a guy that commented. He's like, "Really, you guys do the show like I do my laundry?" I really hope he does his laundry more than missing 2 weeks. But we try to do what we try to do what we can. We can get in here. We like to do this for fun. We like to have a good time, and we love it when you guys come out. So make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. Give us a thumbs up. Tell us in the comments if you like the format of the show. Do you like that we cover other things besides just the home arcade market? Or would you rather us just cover the home arcade market? Because I think that would be kind of boring. But let us know in the comments below. We'd really appreciate it.
Slots.
Oh, no, we're not even going to get down to slots. We'll see you guys next week. Have a great week.